Dear friends, in this session, we'll be discussing on the clearance and permits, licensing and the registration required when you are starting with your business. Let's understand the various permissions required. Clearance and permits. The consents, clearances, and the permits means all authorizations, licenses, approvals, registrations, permits, waivers, privileges, acknowledgements, agreements, or concessions required to be obtained from or provided by any concerned authority for the purpose of setting up an organization. Different types of clearance and permits have to be obtained from different authorities. Depends on various types of organizations you are starting, the scale of operation, the location of business, etc. Let's understand what are the following types of industries have to obtain provisional registration form from the respective district industrial center. That could be small scale industries with the investment plan below rupees 1 crore. Ancillary industries whose investment plan is in plant and equipment is below 1 crore. Ancillary industries belongs to SSIs only, where ancillary industries work on the ancillary products which are used for the manufacturing of other products. Next is tiny industries whose investment in plant and equipment are below 25 lakhs. Tiny industry also comes under SSIs only, but the investment is lesser than 25 lakhs. Women entrepreneurs, where one or more women entrepreneurs have not less than 51% financial holding. Even the woman who have started her own business, or she has become a CEO or in a higher managerial position with more than 51% of financial holding, she will be called as a woman entrepreneur. All these people have to take a provisional registration form relating to the business when from a district industrial center. See, this is an example of a clearance certificate. I have downloaded this for certificates from the website, from the Google, so that as an example for you people not causing any defects on the part of the company's copyright. So here we'll be understanding just to see for understanding how the clearance certificate looks like. Here you can see the company and they have mentioned that barangay clearance, and they have said this is to certify that we interpose no objection to the application of V Mobile Technology Inc. So trading of prepaid products, wholesale retail, Unit 106, Galleria Corporate Center, EDSA business operations, what type of business operations they are, and what the address of the operation, what is the name, what is the title of the business, and the given this on 6th day of May 2008, valid up to December 31st, 2008. They have issued it for some period, and the signature and the higher authorities, they have signed and printed the name and the signature of the concerned clearance control. Next, types of clearance and the permissions have to be obtained from the different agencies. Provisional registration from the respective district industrial centers, non-objection certificate from the pollution control board, and the change of land use from district collector, government in municipal administration and urban development through director, town and country planning urban development authority, any of these as applicable to your business. Next, exemption from urban land ceiling. Next, environmental clearance from Government of India. Next, no objection for the building layout from town planning department. All these certificates has to be obtained for building any kind of agency or any kind of business from different agencies. Some of the other certificates are like approval of plant and machinery level from Department of Factories, approval of power supply from state government authority, approval of water supply, registration and license under Factories Act, registration from Central Excise Department, sales tax registration with Commercial Taxes Department, Provident Fund registration, and the Employee State Insurance registration. All these certificates are obtained with a concern that will not be harming anything to the people associated with the organization and the environment as well. So for that purpose, we need a permission from the government authorities and the agencies. Pre-implementation clearance approvals, other clearances which we need may include land, location, building, plant and machinery, raw material, power, water. The land and location, environmental clearance from Government of India, no objection certificate from Pollution Board of the respective state. Like in our India, it should be in our state, it should be collected from Karnataka state government, change of land use from district collector. If you're staying in Bangalore, the district collector of Bangalore has to issue that. In municipal administration and urban development through director, town and country planning, urban development authority, exemption from land ceiling, all those relating to land or location. Next, building related permissions. Permission for building layout need to be taken from Gram Panchayat or municipality, town, country planning department, and urban development authority, etc. Like plant and machinery related permissions like approval of layout needs to be taken from the departmental of factories or boilers. Raw materials related permission need to get for scarce raw materials like coal, molasses, alcohol, paraffin wax, etc. if required from industrial departments. Power need to get power feasibility from concerned state electric board to obtain approval captive generation. If need be, agreement with private power producers to purchase power from private generating stations. Next, water. Water supply services can be obtained from the following: own captive source, public supply, supply from the state government authority in case of industrial parks, industrial development areas, supply from state irrigation department for bulk consumption. So next, post-implementation clearance approvals. Registration and licensing under Factories Act, clearance and electrical inspectorate, letter of intent of distillery, brewery, and registration under milk and milk orders, mining quarry leaves, registration with Central Excise Department, sales tax registration with Commercial Tax Department, Provident Fund registration, ESI registration. All this needs to be registered. Let's understand what the licensing is. License, like we take license for driving purpose, right? In the same way here, license has to be taken permission for from government or other constituted authority to do something or carry on some business or profession. If you are a doctor, you have to take a license to carry out a medical profession. If you are a lawyer, even you have to take a license. For driving, we take a license. For starting a business, we take a license. If you're starting a business, if you want to start a bar business, also you have to take a license. All these things you have to consider. And for most of the businesses in our country, we have to take a license from the government. Next, Section 11 of the Industries Development and Regulations Act provides that no industrial undertaking shall be established without a license and conform to the rules and regulations prescribed by the state or local authorities under the Factories Act, the Commercial Establishment Act, the town planning rules, and the rules made for the issue of quotas of raw materials, etc. After obtaining the license, the undertaking has to adhere to various rules as laid by the central government under Section 30. So here, according to the Industrial Development Regulation Act, the industrial license would be required for establishment of new undertaking, substantial expansion, production of a new product, Okay, production of a new product, changing the location of an industrial undertaking, etc. You have to take a license. Next, this is an example of license to engagement of in the business of private security agency. So here you can see that the serial number and form 6 government of Punjab has issued a license permitting Saya Security Services Private Limited to establish their business with the order from 2024 February 2010 to 23rd February 2015. They had given a 5 years of license with mentioning the address of the business. So this is an example just I've taken to show it for you people as an example. Next, industrial license. So about this, we have discussed that establishment of undertaking, substantial expansion, production of a new product, changing the location. For all these things, we need an industrial license. Next, registration. Registration, the way we register our vehicle, we have to register our business as well. So registration of small scale industrial units is not compulsory. However, registration with the state directorate of industries or district industry center facilities, obtaining of assistance from the government benefits like concessions, subsidies, and quota for scales or controlled raw materials, registration is required. The registration of small scale units is done in 2 stages. One is the provisional registration, other is the permanent registration. To understand what is the meaning of provisional registration, a potential entrepreneur can go in for provisional registration even if he is planning to set up his unit. In order to get registration, an application in the prescribed form is to be submitted. Provisional certificate is issued within a week of applying, except in case where the proposed unit is one which needs raw materials, which the government has declared non-available due to the shortage of the same. The validity of the provisional certificate in the first instance is for 1 year, which can be extended for 2 more years on the condition of submission of certificate by the entrepreneur that he has taken steps for setting up of unit and he required more time for the completion of the project. Next, once he completes the project and he has settled the unit, he will be given with the permanent registration certificate where provisional it facilitates the process of setting up and after construction of factory building, taking of power connection, purchasing and installing of machinery and pollution control equipments, obtaining license from the municipal corporations or other local authorities, the entrepreneur can proceed ahead and apply for the permanent registration of his unit. Permanent registration is like lifetime registration granted to SSI, which has commenced production. It is given after physical inspection of the enterprise. So this is how the registration takes place. Here you can see a certificate of registration of some society, which I have taken for example purpose. Certificate of registration under Societies Registration Act of this is specifically for association or a society registration, which we have discussed in our session of deciding on a ownership pattern. This is registration number. I hereby certify that Indian Yoga Association, this is an association located at a specific address in our India, has been registered under Society Registration Act of 1860, given under my hand at Delhi on this 31st day of October 2008. In the year 2008, on 31st of October, it has been issued. The seal of Registrar of Society has been fixed here. Later, the signature of the associate concerned person, that is the registrar of the society, is here. So this is a certificate of registration as an example for you people under the Society Registration Act 1860. Hoping that all of you have understood the topics. Thank you very much.